Now I would like to invite our first speaker to the stage. Margrethe Tingstad. She is a Vice President of WILPF International and also a member of WILPF Norway. And our speakers will speak about 25 minutes, and there will be Q&A session of around 15 minutes. Can I introduce you to the stage, Margrethe?
Thank you. First, I want to say to everyone, the family of Dahabo, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for our loss. And I think the only way that we can really pay tribute to her work is to carry on, building on what she has done and carry on the work that she was so devoted to. Thank you for inviting me to speak here today. I'm from WILPF Norway and also working WILPF International. So WILPF's main goal is to advance a feminist peace for equality, justice, and a demilitarized human security. And human security is the security of people and about communities as opposed to the security of states. Human security builds on political, social and economical security, human rights, justice and freedom from fear. And as we will see also today, human security requires environmental security, which includes a variety of issues involving the role that the environment, including climate and natural resources, can play across the peace and security continuum, and their relationship to human well-being. Simply said, human cannot survive without nature. Our understanding is increasing over how the stress linked to climate change, water and food insecurity, environmental degradation, and the unsustainable use of natural resources can contribute to human insecurity. And in spite of an improvement in many people's living standards all over the world and a reduction of interstate conflicts over the recent decades, many achievements have been destroyed by climate change effects and degradation of our environment. Increasing attention is being paid to the environment in international security debates. Climate change and current armed conflicts are driving a re-evaluation of this complex relationship. But in general, I would say the international community is still underperforming when it comes to humanitarian response and policy making. The integration of environmental data into security policies, as well as the Sustainable Development Framework, is welcome. It is becoming more and more evident that these major problems of our time are systemic. They are interconnected and interdependent and cannot be done in isolation. Environmental resources, water, land, forest, minerals, play a major part in some of the world's worst conflicts. And women, as said here, are disproportionately affected by conflict, as well as they are as affected by climate change and environmental degradation. Gender discrimination is still holding too many women back, thus holding development and societies back. Armed conflicts and their after effects are continuing to take an enormous toll on people and environment through pollution, infrastructure breakdown, and the collapse of governance. Whereas in this time, we need governance strongly. Food security is an important pillar of human security, where the challenge of the coming years is to produce enough food to meet the needs of an additional 2 billion people while preserving and enhancing the natural resource base. I am happy that the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, has recognized this, broadly the link between food security and peace, and have developed their strategies accordingly. Because there is also a strong correlation, as we know, between gender equality and food security and peace. Addressing the complex relationships between armed conflicts and climate change, migration, resource scarcities is becoming even more vital. The primary victims of adverse environmental impacts are often from impoverished and marginalized communities with limited ability to defend themselves from exploitation and accountability for the law. And was mentioned also earlier today, the adoption of the 2030 Agenda, including its 17 Sustainable Development Goals, was a landmark achievement. This is about social, economic, and environmental sustainability. But without the policy coherence, achieving the Sustainable Development Goals will be difficult. So a holistic approach is needed, but to a far extent.
Every time we want to tackle one issue, the government, people would think that, okay, when something happens, the West will help us. For example, in the Gambia, when I was born in the Gambia, but my parents are from Senegal. So I worked as a young broadcaster there, and what we were being taught was what to say and what not to say. We had 22 years of dictatorship with Yahya Jammeh. Recently, when things got tough, it was the diaspora that helped. And when we always talk about when push comes to shove, the West will help us. They help us to be able to get in. And once they have their hands on all the issues that we are grappling with, the next minute is that everything that we were fighting for is to be counter. I don't know how to what word to use. The thing is, we want to progress in Africa, but the thing is, when we're working in partnership with the West, it seems that things are not going to move forward. We like in a rigmarole, in a vicious circle. We keep going round and round and round, and we depend so much on the people who have colonized us. And what we want now is a way forward on how we can work together as partners and a very genuine partnership in order for us to move forward and tackle all the issues that we are grappling in Africa all around. Thank you.
Thank you. Just the last comment. Thank you so much for that. And you are so right. The only way forward I see we are strengthening our partnerships, because that's the only way. We cannot go here and there and othering others, so we need to define how does a partnership work. We all want the same. It's just that in the West we have been so spoiled. We have been derailed with what is not important. We have to go back to, as women, as sisters, mothers and daughters, I think quality of life, what is a good life, that is what I think we all have in common, and how we are getting there we need to discuss, and what kind of partnership we also need to talk about. I think talking to each other is the way forward, aligning, building movements. We have the same cause. Thank you.